Hello there and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling and the Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy and today we're doing the last of the What's in the Box kit reviews for our 6 Fokkers of the Royal Dutch Air Force that we're doing as a You Choose My Next build, where I'm giving you the opportunity to pick which kit this Muppet who makes models badly does next. We've already done What's in the Boxes for these 5, so today it is the turn of the Fokker T5 Late, which is a kit by Valom, number 72102. This is from a new tooling in 2015, and Valom also do 2 alternate versions of this, which are basically the same kit, but one of them comes with Dutch national markings that are the red, white and blue roundels, and the other one has the markings for a captured German aircraft, and they were released in 2016. This is until now, because the Valom kit is widely available. The 3 of them seem to be widely available for around about the £30-ish mark. Prior to this, the only real sort of kit that I can find is this aviation Usk, which I kind of bought just out of a minor curiosity. And we'll have a look at that later on, and I will do a What's in the Box kit review for this over the coming week while I'm building whichever one of these you actually pick. The only other ones that I can find are by a company called Garage Kit, a company called KPL Models, and a company called Checkmasters, but they're all similar to this in that they're vac form kits or of dubious manufacturing processes. There's also apparently one by a company called Jeremy Models in 148, but I can't even find that at all on eBay, anything by Jeremy Models, so I don't even know who they are. So anyway, we come to have a look at this rather nice bomber, a medium bomber or heavy fighter. Yeah, okay, that's kind of how it was originally termed to be developed as. I think it looks a bit like a B-25 Mitchell, to be honest with you, but there we go. So the parts are standard parts, as we can see. They all look quite nice. There's no numbering on the sprues, and there are doesn't appear to be very little in the way of mounting points for the kit as well. So it is very much a judge by eye sort of situation, but never mind. We don't need all these fancy little things, do we? So as we can see, the detail on here, we've got some panel lines on here. Apparently this is a fabric covered rear section of the fuselage, so it's got, you can see the ribbing underneath basically with the fabric covering. On this sprue here we also have 3 seats. Not sure which ones are which, they're all slightly different. I'm not too sure what those parts are. I'm going to hazard a guess that they're doors for the undercarriage. We have a couple of aerials, possibly, maybe, not sure. We have 2 parts of the twin tail. I do quite like twin-tailed aircraft. See, we've got some mounting points there, and that's basically it for this sprue. Obviously we've got a couple of windows to go in, and this here appears to be the door into the fuselage for the crew to exit and enter. Obviously we've got a big piece that goes on the front here, which is a glazed section, and this is actually a rather potent cannon in the front. So that's that sprue dealt with. Let's pop that there. This one deals with the wings. So as we can see, we have a upper part of the nacelle already fixed in place. We've got a little bit of a gap here for some wing mounted lights by the look of it. There's a bit of an imperfection there. We've got wheels that require sticking together. There are some mounting points there. There is some detail on the tread of the wheels also. These look like they're going to be exhausts for the engines, which go here. We've got propellers that we are required to stick together ourselves. I'm not a fan of them, to be honest with you, but whatever. I'm guessing these are going to be parts of the interior of the nacelles, sort of bulkhead sort of situation. These are going to be parts of the engines as well. What would that be? It's a single piece, probably an interior part. I'm not too sure what that is, but it looks like it's part of the floor of the interior. So that's that one dealt with. And we're on our last sprue already. It's not taking too long, is it? So here we have the fronts of the engines. A little bit of excess, a little bit of flash. Nothing too bad. What we got here, I'm going to hazard a guess that that's the cockpit control console. It looks like part of the floor. There's the main body of the floor. Guessing that's where the pilot's seat is going to be located. This looks like some sort of instrument panel. What have we got here? These are going to be parts of the undercarriage, I'm thinking. There's our tail. Got a whole load of guns to go in. This one actually has guns mounted here. I think it has a gun that pops out the top here as well. I'm not exactly certain. And a couple of guns at the side. Here we have the bottom of the nacelles with the hatches for the undercarriage to retract into. Tail wheel. They're going to be parts of the engines. And that's going to be the tail wheel holder. Oh, this here is the bloody big cannon that goes in the front. Yeah, that's looking a bit naughty, isn't it? Other parts that we get with this, we get a couple of resin. These are bays for the undercarriage. Got some detail in them. I'm kind of puzzled as to what these are. I've been thinking about it, but I think these are actually magazines for the guns, because they're mounted on the inside of the fuselage near the gun positions. So I'm guessing that's what they are. Got a couple of nice resin engines. Probably a bit to take off the bottoms. Ooh, gotta be careful taking these off. These are the propeller parts to attach our propeller blades to. A whole load of glaze bits here. There's a couple of bits off sprue. They're going to be the wing mounted lights. That's the tail machine gun position. That's the front of the fuselage. There's our cockpit canopy, and this is the window that sort of goes at the top here. Got a whole load of other little windows to put in, which no doubt I'll get glue or smeared all over the place. Got some photo etch. These, I forget what these are called, but these go around the engines here. We've got some harnesses. There's part of the instrument display panel. More harnesses. This spidery looking thing here, this is actually the mounting for the cannon at the front, which goes inside the nose. Yeah, that looks like fun, doesn't it? I'll be chucking that bit away. And then we have our decal sheet, which has got the wonderful large orange triangle identification markings of the Dutch, and some ones for the rear tail sections. And we get several different ways we can number the aircraft up as well. So let's have a look at the instruction book. Got that bit last. So we have our plastic parts, sprue diagram, more sprue diagram, and then standard procedure. Let's get on section 1 and stick some seats together. So we've got our seats. We can see we've got some harnesses to go in. We've got the cockpit control consoles to go on. There's our seats with the harnesses in place. So all 3 visible seating areas get harnesses. We're then going to, sorry a second. We're then going to put all our bits into the, I'm just going to put you on pause, the phone is dying. Sorry about that. We're then going to put our seating alignment arrangements into the cockpit floor. So we've got a bulkhead here, that's the rear gunner's position. Got a seat with maybe a radio operator or something. Got the pilot's position, and we have the observer and front cannon operator's position. When all that's in place, we're going to put a few small parts in. Looks like we've got some pedals to go in there. Section 4, we're going to be putting these little round resin parts in, which I think we'll all agree that they're going to be for the guns. Got some small parts to put in here. There's that instrument panel. There's our guns to go in our side windows. I believe there's an element of drilling to do with these windows. And everything should look in place like that in section 5 before we put the other section of the fuselage together and stick the tail on. What are we doing now? We're going to put our glaze section on the front with our bloody big cannon. We're going to put the rest of the glaze sections in. This is this mounting point for this gun, I think. which goes in the front there. Yeah, that might get left out. So you can see here we need to drill a little hole in the glaze section at the front nose. Then we're going to deal with our undercarriage mountings and our undercarriage doors. And then we get to put the engines together. That's very bitty. Sure, it's pretty easy though. Section 10, put the engine mounting onto the wing, stick our wheels on, same on the other side, and we're all done. Apart from we've got to put the wings on. We can put the wings on, obviously. So there we go, put the wings on. Doesn't seem to be much in the way of, oh yeah, we've got a nice big groove here to stick the wings in, so that looks pretty easy. And there we go. So now we've got our nice brightly coloured Dutch camouflage pattern, which I am always a bit weirded out by the fact they have brown on the undersurfaces. Whatever. And this is done in green and grey, so probably if we do this we'll spray it all brown first, I would have thought, and then we'll just put the green and the grey on. That seems the logical easiest way to do it. So we've got yeah, 2 different versions by the look of it we can do. And we've got a painting scheme colours on the back. So I'll just read out the information. It's kind of long, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know what a Fokker T5 is, so stick around. The Fokker T5 medium bomber was originally designed according to the requirements of the Netherlands Army Air Force in spring 1936, both as a heavy long-range fighter, and as a medium bomber. However, it was impossible to meet this requirement because of its construction, so it retained the role of a medium bomber. At that time, the Netherlands Air Force had hardly any modern bombers, so in June 1937 they ordered 16 straight series machines without testing any prototypes. Development was very fast, and on October the 16th, 1937, the first Fokker T5 was to be built flew its maiden test flight. The Fokker T5 was a 5-seat mid-wing composite construction aeroplane. The wings in the fuselage and the central part were wooden. The forward fuselage was duralumin. There you go, that's got it out. And the rear fuselage was made from fabric-covered steel tubes. The propulsion unit comprised 2 Bristol Pegasus 16 radio engines with an output of 690 kilowatts each. The armament consisted of one 20mm Solotherm cannon as the nose gun and 5 7.9mm machine guns in the rear position, side windows and fuselage bottom, and in the glazed tail part. The aircraft could carry bombs with a maximum weight of 1,200 kilograms, although in reality this was usually just a set of different bombs up to an overall weight of 400 kilograms. The aircraft faced many problems in its early days, for example with the hydraulic system, high oil consumption, a vulnerable fuel tank and radio interference during operation. On 10th of May 1940, when Germany attacked the Netherlands, only 9 of the 16 planes were able to go into battle. These were all deployed at Schiphol Airport. Although this aircraft bombing force could not compete with the more advanced German Air Force on a numerical and technical level, their aircraft crews bravely embarked on military missions including bombing bridges over the rivers and access roads in order to slow down the German invasion. At Valom Airport they destroyed 30 German bombers and transport planes without any losses. However, a total of 9 Fokker T5s were finally destroyed or shot down during combat. The last one was shot down by a Messerschmitt Bf-109E on the 13th of May 1940. So there we go, that completes our little look at our rather interesting Fokker T5. And as I've said previously, please do get involved with the voting process and help me, well, it's your choice basically as to which one we build. So it's the Fokker D21, the Fokker G1A, the Fokker T8, the Fokker C10, the experimental Fokker D23, or the Fokker T5. All the Fokkers basically. Like I've said, voting for this will close on May the 10th, which is the date of the invasion of the Netherlands by the Germans. And I'm hoping to get the aircraft built and painted by May the 14th, which represents the day of the Dutch capitulation to the overwhelming German forces. The Hartenveld Citroën Geneva that's sitting quietly in the corner was sent to me by a very nice viewer called Hendrik, and he wanted me to have this on the occasion of me building my first Dutch aircraft. He sent this to me about 5 months ago. I did have a little swig of it about 5 months ago, but I've got some here. The correct way to drink this apparently is to put sugar in it. So I've got a little bit of sugar, and I'm going to have a little sip now. Oh yeah, that's good. Thanks to Hendrik. So thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and as always, be seeing you.